turning up today. It is very much appreciated. I always think it's dead weird when we come to these events, and I don't know, we might need to look at it. I mean, I know I've spoke to Ted with regards to Stirling Bridge, and I think we're not going to, or Ted's not going to do like a march on it, and just going to have the commemoration thing itself. It's been sort of Wallace Day the last 2 years. It's been so dead. You know, even before COVID, we played in bands out, everywhere else. All the bands are playing in front of 3 people. You know, the bands don't take the army, or even if he's coming out there London. Well, I don't know. I've had a big long chat with Ted about it. Well, I don't know if the all under one banners and the independence marches. I don't know if it's got something to do with them. Whereas years ago, for independence here, there's nowhere you could have went. You couldn't show your passion for your country or whatever else. So commemoration, you have like sort of banner fund. That's the only thing that you could actually do. You could only go on these marches. Whereas now you've got all under one banner for all the marches. I don't know whether it's because people are going, well, we're doing that, so we don't need to do this now. So I don't know if that's why it's becoming quieter. I mean, I'm older now, and I remember Bannockburn and sort of Wallace Day. I mean, these were massive events. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they were huge. And you took the Saturday, Sunday, the Monday off as well, because you had to come after the weekend, whatever, with the Saturday night, whatever else. But those were, I mean, they were, and you look forward to them. Whereas nowadays, it's Stirling Bridge as well. It used to be really, really big. You know, that's died to death as well. But it's the only thing I can think of, you know, as to why it's not as busy now. Because I still believe that there's a passion for Wallace, there's a passion for Bruce there as well. I just find that we did this a couple of years ago. One of the councillors was here, and I had a word with him at the end of it, and it was talking about having signs out here, you know, so you could actually find the actual monument. If you know where you're going, it's pretty easy. But if you don't know where you're going, it's not the easiest place in the world to find. Basically, we get told to go and take a running jump to ourselves, and not fucking out for that. And the only signs that are there were actually put up by us, and that's 10, 12, 13 years ago now. We put those signs up, and I just think, I don't know whether it's the SNP or whatever, but I just find it really difficult with anything that we're trying to do with regards to promote Wallace and promote Scotland. That these people, your MSPs and whatever else, they don't seem to really want to do anything about it. I mean, fortunately, had a meeting 4 weeks ago with Elderslie Council, and when I went in, there was about 15 people there, which was actually really impressive. And they all seemed quite keen on jumping on the bandwagon with Wallace Day to try and sort of get things sorted out. The monument itself does need work done on it. You know, people, you know, the grass and whatever else is not really that clean. It's not really cut that much. So all this needs to be moving forward. And at least now we've touched wood. This looks as if it's moving forward. But I always find it weird that for Scotland as a country, with the heroes that we've got and the people that come from the States and with their Scottish heritage and all the rest of it, why don't we promote places like this, Elderslie? You know, like the actual town itself is like dying a death, really. Yeah, that's where Wallace was born. Surely they should be looking to market that, surely. But is it too Scottish? Are we not involved in this? Are we not, like, we need to do more British things and whatever else we can get involved in to promote the country that we actually live in? And I do find it scary and annoying. And I think from the independence point of view, especially from my point of view, I mean, I've always voted my country free, but I think since getting involved with what we do, George will know about it because he used to be the vice convener of the society. When you start dealing with these people and guys that are in charge, like Scottish Heritage or whatever, I can't remember what you call them, National Heritage or whatever you call them, these people have got no interest in Scotland at all. I've got no interest at all. It's just government guys that seem to be good at like filing and whatever else, but actually having a passion of what you're actually looking to try and do. These guys have got no interest at all. And I then look at it from that point of view and think, well, if that's what they're doing with their heritage, what's Westminster doing with their actual bloody country? Because they obviously don't give two hoots about our heritage and bringing tourism into the country. Then what do they actually think about for other things like our oil, our sort of wind farms, our actual standard of living, and the rest of it? And that's why I'm probably more pro independence now, because of what we're involved in. I mean, we did develop the way. I mean, that was horrifying. We spoke to this guy over Belfast, I'm sure it was, he came over from, and he came over with his wife. I don't know what his wife did. I'm sure she was involved in marketing, and I'm pretty sure she was involved with the Titanic. You know, they've got the big sort of, and Duncan and me were sitting having a drink, and we talked like he was going to design the sort of monument because Glasgow Council wanted something different. So he did something different, and kind of Glasgow Council went, nah, we don't like that, mate. That's too different. It's like, for the love of God, we're just going round in bloody circles here. But I was speaking to the person, she's going, oh yeah, if we get this done and you can market this, you can do that, you can do this. And like, you've also you've got Stirling and you can then market that, you can get it all in one day. And Duncan and me are sitting there and I'm sitting going, doesn't look like that, Dylan. Really sorry, but the council aren't really interested in this at all. That's why it's taken us nearly 6 years to get it built. And you can see her looking, going, what? They're not interested. And I'm sitting going, no, they're not interested. And it was embarrassing to speak to this person who was looking at me going, are you for real? Even if you look at Stirling, and you've had Braveheart, what's Stirling done to promote Braveheart, the film, and bring people into Stirling to get money there? They've done absolutely sod all. I mean, I'm part of the Guardians of Scotland Trust, and we've obviously put the 3 storyboards down. You've got the flag there. We've done the lighting, and we're obviously trying to build a sort of monument there as well now. We're getting sod all help off the council. The council MSPs, could be two of the MSPs on the premise, but apart from that, they're doing lip service. They're not actually doing anything. Do you know what I mean? And it's frightening that we're in this situation that groups like ourselves need to run events like this. Groups like ourselves need to go and build bloody monuments at the Bell of the Bray and the Wallace Well as well. And I know George was involved with the Wallace Well Neil. I can't make it. The amount of lies that we get told from these guys and heads, things, oh, we'll look after this, we'll get the money, we'll make sure it's sorted out, and nothing evaporated. And behind they were hoping that because the tree was pretty delicate, which you know yourself, George, and if we'd left it any longer, the thing would just be falling apart. And I think to a certain extent, I could be wrong, but that's, I think, what they actually wanted, rather than actually have anything to do with it. Where it's now in 100%, which that was down to Shah, Neil, and Stuart with that. But why should we be doing this? You know, and to me it's embarrassing that people, I don't know whether the SNP are going away from this pro-Scottish side of things because they'll get slaughtered for it in the press, or it's just like shop runs or whatever. But this brings revenue into the country. People come over here because of Wallace, because of Bruce. And if you're not like promoting that as well as what you possibly can, then you're going to miss out on people. You've got Canberra Kenneth Abbey there with Wallace's arms reputedly supposed to be there. If you come from the States and you go to the Wallace Monument, is there anything there which tells you that? And it's what? A mile away? It's probably not even that, to be honest. And there's nothing there. They say, by the way, boys, if you come all the way over from the States and you look, why don't you go here and have a look at something that is to do with Wallace himself? Why is there nothing there? You know, why is this not put right? Even like the Wallace one, I know it's massive in there, but
even if you go to Canvas Skinner, there's nothing in Canvas Skinner.
No, it's absolutely
You can't get in.
well, yeah. And the scary thing about it is when I was there doing look to try and do a film thing and do a lot of are aware of going which maybe not as well with the drone like you guys see Wallace. Walking down the Attic also, by the way, you watch Braveheart, yes we have, and they're all Spanish, Italian, whatever else, and you end up doing a wee talk, so this is whatever else, and the guys are like over the moon. They've actually got, Jesus God, this is relevant to what we're aware of, but there's nothing there to say this is reputably or legend stakes, this is where William Wallace's arm's supposed to be. There's nothing there at all. It's frightening and absolutely annoying that sometimes you end up banging your head against a brick wall with people who just don't care anything about the actual country that they're from. And it's so frustrating when you get involved with stuff like that. And with events like this, you know, the turnout here is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I won't say too many words. Usually do Scots behave what can we can. And trust me, you don't want to hear me singing. So we'll probably give that a bite, to be perfectly honest with you, because I just can't sing. I think there was a few people who were saying, well, I did put on a like we've got a little group chat, I'll do the singing then, and people will go, I'm coming. Well, I wouldn't be coming either if I was singing. Tam's sitting there with his video, that probably break, mate, to be honest with you, if it was me singing, so we're not doing that. I know John Orr would like to say a few words, and then John will put the Saltire back up. Next year we will obviously try and get more speakers. I know Gordon usually comes, but he couldn't make it tonight. And hope to try and get a lot more people here as well. I mean, as I said, with the job that I do, it's been manic the last 2 or 3 weeks. The fire in the roads and every phone call.
No interesting me.
Eh?
No interesting me.
So after that, show off, that's it, show off Gary. To John. Would you like to say a few words? No.
Just what Gary's saying there, it's like you don't want to, I don't want to use political tones, remembering Wallace said, but that's what happened, that's the annihilation of a country. That's what the larger neighbour does, that's suppression and annihilation.
That's a really good point.
For me, with Wallace, I think the first time I heard about Wallace and Bruce must have been, I think like a lot of people, must have been at primary school, at P6, P7, well. And then, maybe probably as now, if there's enough room left in the curriculum, maybe there's an hour and a day in the afternoon, and you've got a decent enough teacher, they'll teach you a wee bit of history, a wee bit of Scottish history, because there's nothing in the schools. There's absolutely nothing in the curriculum at all, and that is another big problem. We could stand here and talk for 2 hours about it. My laddies went through their primary school education, secondary school education. It's just as bad now as it was then. But anyway, I'm going back to the year 1980. So that's when I first heard the Wallace stories. Then we did the Wallace stories, and they planted something. You know, I've heard all these stories before, like, you know. And I feel, you've all given speeches as well, and we all use the same words and phrases sometimes, but it's no different, it's exactly the same. It planted something. I don't know how else to describe it. It just, it opened something up, you know what I mean? And then as the years go by, you go through your teenage years, and then you get into something, and you get into, it's like any interest, you get into Scotland and Scotland's history, and its culture, and its music, and you want to find out a wee bit more, you know? You know, you buy the CD, you buy the records, and then you want to physically do something. It's like something in your gut is pushing you forward. You have to say something, you have to do something. So that's when I first heard about Wallace and Bruce, a long time ago, in primary school. It started something, and then you take it from there, you know. But going on to what's happening today, it's finding similarities and parallels to what's happening in Scotland today and what happened back in Wallace at the time. And exactly the same. The only differences that I can see, and probably we can all say the same thing, it's just time and technology. Time is the only difference, and maybe with you know, maybe technology's sort of moved on, isn't helping our lives. But that's the only difference, because they felt the same, they thought the same, you know, the same aspirations, you know what I mean? It's exactly the same, they face the same struggles and the same battles as Wallace is doing. That's all I really wanted to say. It's no different. And lastly, what you were saying is it's frustrating and it's angering, but we have to keep spreading the awareness. We're going through a wee lull at the moment, you know, and it is disheartening, but you've got to keep going. You know, when we're having a bad day, we've all got our lives, we've all got our circumstances, and we have, you know, good days, average days, bad days, but you've got to keep going, because without that awareness, without that hope, what have we got? We've got nothing. Just got to keep going. So there is a wee lull in things with all the groups maybe. You know, I've spoken to a lot of other people, part of a lot of groups too, but you've just got to keep going, eh? And that's what it's all about.
Please don't. There you go, John, if you would like to raise the flag, please. If everybody's getting what you'd like to lay, please. I love this place as well. Obviously with Davy's name being there, and I remember being there when we done it, and the place was a bit of a mess. Thank you to Martin as well for cleaning the place up as well. It's very much appreciated. And again, it's a bit like what I was saying prior. This is something the council should be doing automatically anyway. You know, it shouldn't be down to sort of people like yourself to do that. One thing I would say though, that it's something I've always been thinking about, like with Braveheart, when Braveheart first came out, and everybody was going, all the people were going on, the story of life, this is not right, this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. And it's all trying to like knock the film down to what it, because it got people going. You know, you've got to say 30% of the population of this country probably knew who Wallace was before the film came out. And I always find it really weird. It's like, I don't know, like growing up, you watch like World War II films, like with Clint Eastwood or Richard Burton, whatever else. I know I'm old, and he's going about shooting like 3 million Germans, you know, himself. You know, not having to like reload his gun and all that. Just kept doing whatever else. Nobody questioned these things. Nobody was sitting going, well, actually, that probably didn't really quite happen like that. You know, Pearl Harbor, the Titanic, and these films that have come out. Nobody's questions about, well, history-wise, that's not really right. And the reason that it is brought out is purely to knock Scotland down. So if you watch the film and you get really involved, and you get somebody else in the background going, well, actually, boys, that's not actually really true. And it just goes down to, it's the propaganda then, or now so. And then if you look at the propaganda when Wallace was murdered, is that when Wallace went down London, he was supposed, because there is documentation to prove that he was supposed to go to the Tower of London. But he couldn't go there because there was that many people there paying for his blood because of the amount of propaganda that the English had put out with regards to this guy. And there was a post which in fairness I didn't reply to because I couldn't be bothered, to be honest with you, and it was questioning Wallace and questioning the history of it, and did this actually happen, did he really do this, did he really do that, did he really do that? Now there's people in Scotland that went down to Smithfields and been hung on and quartered, but not with the amount of intensity that Wallace had when he went down there. Now Wallace was, in the days, was like going to the cinema. Smithfield Market had an annual day. And on that annual day, when Wallace was murdered on the 23rd of August 1305, Wallace was the main attraction. He is the main event for that day. Now, reading this absolute dribble that I read on Facebook with regards to Wallace, you're thinking, well, actually, that just what I've just said there with regards to the amount of people that were there looking at the pain of his blood. He's the main event. You know, there was thousands of people there to see him getting murdered. But that is absolutely rubbish. Wallace was more than just a Scottish speaker. There's loads of Scottish guys that went down there and were hung, drawn and quartered, but not the same as what went on with Wallace. Now, it is difficult sometimes with us, and I find it really frustrating with the history side of Wallace, like trying to prove stuff, because it is difficult. But when you look at stuff like that, that knocks a lot of it out the water that Wallace was just he nobody, because that's absolute rubbish. You know, because if you look at like his like murder, Longshanks really wanted him found and captured as much as possible, and that shows to me and how he was murdered as well, and what Longshanks was trying to do to him. I think it shows that Wallace is a hero for Scotland. He's a hero to me, and something that John said there as well. I sometimes go through times where you go through bad times in your life and you think, well, what would Wallace do? Like the independence movement, or sometimes when you're banging your head against a brick wall for 7 years trying to get a sort of monument built. You do start to question it and go, Jesus. But then you go, well, actually, Wallace had to put up a heck of a lot more than what I had to do, just me picking up a phone call and annoying somebody, rather than maybe go to battle where you might not come back. You might end up coming back without an arm or a leg or sort of whatever else. And that's all I want to say with regards to it. I mean, we do it every single year at Rob Royston as well. It's a great wee place for people to do their first speech. If anybody would like to say a few words. This is the bit that usually goes dead quiet in fairness. You know what I mean? Big Davey sitting there slagging you off. What's it? Nah, you're alright, son, you're alright.
The Scottish history is back on the curriculum for primary schools at the teacher and the school's discretion. Now I've done a few schools and the Wayne's Soap and the Lily. Really, I got to the point for me I just didn't have enough time to go to different schools. I was getting asked to get these schools away up north, doing the border and all this, and I got to the point I just couldn't do it anymore. Done a couple of wee Stuart here a night. Really interesting. He'd done it from a different perspective. I'd done it as a night. Like we'd already kept the sword, all the rest of the stuff, Wayne's and all that stuff. They really did, they soak that stuff in. But Stuart had a collection of old coins, old Scottish coins, old Roman coins, all that stuff. And I thought, when he came out of that, I thought, these coins aren't interesting and that stuff. He loved it. It was totally amazing. That's primary school kids. They totally loved it. Right off of the weapons all the way down, just Stuart showing the coins. But I will say this, at that point that you brought up, I try to do most of the history things. And I try to do most of the yes things, the independent, all under one bar stuff, whoever's running that. Try to do that with the yes makers as well. And it's sometimes hard, sometimes it has clashes, you know. Like say we've got a yes event up in Skye later on this month, clashes with Elderslie. You know what I mean? So it's kind of mix and match up. Where do you go? You know, to me it's a bit of a conundrum because I want to push the country forward. I want to be part of the yes movement, part of the independence side, because at the end of the day, you know, people that keep it in the newspapers might not report it all the time, but it's still there bubbling under. Somebody said the event in the air last weekend, it's even on the BBC. But I don't watch the BBC, so I couldn't tell you. The fact that maybe got a mention was enough for me. I'm going to miss Elderslie. That's the first time I missed Elderslie. It's a bit of a bugger, but it hits folk, maybe not folk like yourself, but folk like me. Do you go to the Yes March or do you go to the History March? To me, the future's the main thing for me. But the same
well, John, as well, Johnny.
Aye, there's money that as well, you know. Aye, plus going up to the Sky thing, it's the Yes Makers going up there as well. I've been obviously been out taking the boat. I'm not going to way up there on a motorbike, you know, way back then. Maybe person to you know what I mean? But the main thing at the point is the curriculum is now going to Scottish history for the primary school teachers. It's like kids you want to really try and hit. Honest to God, it's so easy making an impression on these kids. They're wide open. It's so covered in that. I mind going to this big guy. His name was Lyle, funny enough, his name was spelled differently. And
L-Y-L-E or
Lyle was the kid's name, aye. My name's Lyle, L-Y-A-L-L. Aye. Right, so this guy's here. That teacher in Airdrie, primary school in Airdrie, he just wanted to do a wee thank you card. You know, it really is amazing. I've still got it, I don't forget them out. And I noticed this one that was Knights Templars. You know, and that's what I wanted to talk about. You didn't really want to be interested in the William Wallace thing or the Robert the Bruce thing. Knights Templar, that's what you wanted to talk about. I know there's some great ones. I said the Templars were the end of the Scottish Wars of Independence. There are other folk who disagree with that, but this wee boy, honestly, God, you look at his 7, and the amount of history he was teaching me about the Templars was unbelievable. So if you can get involved in the school or any of that kind of stuff in the primary school, yeah, that's so rewarding for somebody. You know, but same again, it takes up very of time, it takes up very of fuel, you know, travelling up. Anyway, that's all I was like to say. You can't get involved.
Just one quick thing. We've got what John said as well. Doing schools is amazing, and I know the first that I ever did. And kids were 7 or 8. You go, what am I going to talk about? I'll just talk about Wallace Well. And then I think, are they going to be interested or not? Whatever else. And they got to the end, and the teacher's going, right, has anybody got any questions? And this wee 7-year-old kid come out and he just like dropped this like thing. He just went like that thing with all these questions on there. And he went, actually, number 1, bloody man. I was just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And the scary thing is, when we did the Bell of the Bray, and we put where the kids won, like the kids did a little poem, right? They won, sort of one of the schools won it. And I actually had to contact, because when we went to present the kids with the little awards and say well done and your things going on there, and we're in the common room or the teachers' room, which I still find really weird. It's like watching Grange Hill and you're dead young and you're going, I shouldn't really be here. I'm in the teachers' like bit, whatever. And the head teacher wouldn't come and meet us because she was like, really didn't want absolutely nothing to do with it at all. And I had to actually basically get a hold of the teacher to let the teacher know when they had to be the event, so the kids could be there because it's their poem, because the head teacher didn't tell the kids when it was. And going with what you're saying, and one last thing, kids, if you want kids to be brought up independence minded, you can't start talking about the politicians now because they'll come be bored rigid with that. If you start getting involved with Wallace, Bruce, the Jacobites, brings a wee bit of swords and whatever else, that gets them going, that gets them interested in the history of their country, gets them educated, and then the political side will come later when they get older. But because of what they've learned, will get them moving forward towards their independence thinking, and that's how I see it. I know people say that it's not that important, but it is, and it is, and I see that with kids, and anybody that I know here all know their history, and that's where your independence and what your country comes from, and that's why teaching kids and the history part of things is really, really important. Thank you very much for every single person turning up today, and we'll all be pleased to know you're having up to something. So thank you very much.